The first rumor of the day comes from Tom Bogert, who's actually an MLS insider or journalist who works with plenty of different publications such as The Guardian and 442 and whatnot, who says, and actually was one of the first ones to break the story, saying that there's many clubs in Europe interested in Chicago Fire winger, which is 18 years old, and his name is Jhon Duran. Jhon Duran, Colombian, obviously Luis Diaz countryman, recently made his debut for Colombia as well. 18 years old, supposedly. I don't watch as much as MLS as if I should have. He's doing really good right now in the MLS. He's incredibly pacey. He's incredibly powerful and strong. So, not only that, but rumors before, like a couple of days ago, are saying that the Liverpool scout that scouted Luis Diaz is actually the one that is recommending Jhon Duran to Liverpool. Now, I'm going to ask you guys. The rumor fee is $8 million if anybody wants to take him in January. I'm going to start with Damon on this one. Damon, MLS, $8 million pounds. Do you think it's worth taking a gamble? Do you think it's worth moving for someone like that from a very weak league?
Again, it's one of those situations where if you don't get him now at $8 million, then it's going to be 10 times that. By the time you get around to signing him again. So we'll take a chance. I actually watch MLS highlights now and then, so I've seen him just a couple of times, not enough to really have a proper view on him. But it does seem he's completely different to Diaz, which is strange. Being in the same country, is much more of a quick, a bit like Salah in a way. He's a bit more quick and a bit more of a winger than Diaz, where Diaz is more comes inside and directly attacks, more like a forward sort of thing. Whilst he's a bit more of a winger, he likes to go out wide, likes to, and get the ball whipped in. But I would I take a chance in January for $8 million? I'd take anyone at the moment because we need that backup for them wingers. Salah ain't got anyone pushing him, and if Salah gets injured, we can't put RVL on right. I don't think it's suited for that anymore. So but $8 million, you can't go wrong with $8 million, can you? See what happens. Maybe loan him back out.
Do you share Damon's sentiment considering that the player comes from the MLS? That's a huge one for me. So that's what I'm asking you right now. Do you mind the fact that he comes from the MLS at the moment?
No. It'd be quite interesting to see a player come from the MLS to the Prem rather than the Prem to the MLS like they do towards the end of the career. And just had a quick look at him then, and he seems like he plays more of a centre forward, but he scored 8 goals in 26 games in the MLS, which I suppose it doesn't set the world alight, but I suppose Chicago Fire aren't one of the big massive teams, are they really, in the MLS when you compare them to the LA Galaxies and stuff like that. So he's good cover for $8 million. Is he someone we can bring off the bench to grab a goal? Potentially. Then he can communicate with Diaz on the left, so then they're intertwining as well. So I'd take a punt on him because I do think we do need someone who can come off the bench and maybe make a bit more of an impact. So I'd take a punt on him, but I just hope he's not a bit like Tahi because he came from the Austrian league. We took a punt on him and he looked unbelievable against us, but didn't set the world alight, I suppose, when he came. But the fact he's had two starts for Colombia at only 18, it does speak highly, and Colombia do seem to have a history of churning out very good attacking options when you think like your Falcaos and stuff, and I'd take a punt on him. I would take a punt on him.
Interesting shout right there. So, again, I also haven't seen him, but if rumors are true, saying that the Liverpool scout that scouted Luis Diaz is the one recommending Jhon Duran, then for £8 million, I mean, we've done worse for £8 million. So I feel like it wouldn't be such a gamble. So what I'm going to bring to you guys next is a rumor from a Bayern Munich midfielder, a youngster that actually has been confirmed by 2 sources, both in Germany, both reliable. One being Florian Plettenberg from Sky Sports, and the other one being Christian Falk from Sport Bill. And that's the rumor claiming that Liverpool are actually looking into bringing Musiala, I think that's how you say his name, from Bayern Munich, the young midfielder, full of promise. And now, again, this is confirmed by 2 reliable sources. I haven't watched much of Musiala himself, but I do know that he's getting a lot of regular game time with the first team for his age. So I'm going to go straight into Matty. Matty, have you seen anything from Musiala that actually like brings attention? Do you think he's the right profile for the player that we should bring in?
100%. He's an unbelievable player. He come through the England youth system with Jude Bellingham. He's a little bit more of a deeper lying playmaker than Jude, where Jude's a bit more of an attacking playmaker. But Musiala's unbelievable. And to be honest with you, if we were to get someone like him, he can play the 6, he can play central midfield. He's sort of a similar profile, I'd say, to probably Tchouaméni, in that sense that he's more flexible in the defensive side, but he's absolutely unbelievable. I just don't know how much it cost us to get him from Bayern Munich. He's incredibly talented. I said in the writers' chat, I think, a few weeks ago that it'd probably be an unpopular opinion, but I'd probably rather bring him in than Bellingham, because I feel like Bellingham will just eat all of our summer budget. I mean, I'd love Jude Bellingham, but we're talking about our owners here and spending like 140 odd million on someone would probably be the only sign. Where I think you could probably get Musiala for like 60, 70. So you could maybe get somebody else in as well. He's an unbelievable player, though. He'd definitely improve our current options from instantly, and he's so young. He's unbelievable.
Interesting shout right there, Matty, as well, claiming that you would rather go for Musiala as well. Like I said, I haven't watched him as much. I've seen only highlights, so I don't know as much. 19 years of age, attacking midfielder, very versatile. Seems like a lot of people actually agree with you as well, Matty. Rigo, Jan, what else? Let's see. Carl says Musiala was superb against England. A lot of people actually agreeing with you on this one, which is a very interesting profile. I don't think I heard us being linked with him recently, so the fact that he just came up is probably good news, not only because if we do not get Musiala, that means that Liverpool are actively looking for a potential Jude Bellingham midfielder. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, positions are probably different because Musiala is more of a attacking option, number 10 option by the looks of it. But Damon, let me ask you this. Is this the right profile of player that we should be looking into, considering that we just brought in Carvalho, considering that we just have Harvey Elliott, who despite being more dangerous in the front line, tends to play more in midfield? Do you think that this is what we should start looking into?
That's a good question, though, because like you said, Carvalho and Elliott, they're looking like to play number 10 now. If we do keep this formation, the 4-3-1, then the number 10 is looking like Elliott Carvalho, but that's where he plays, isn't it? So that's, I don't know, really. That's a good question. Maybe Carvalho and Elliott could cover wings, and maybe the number 10 as well. He's a brilliant talent, though, like Matty said. Absolutely. His close control of the ball is just ridiculous. And his confidence is ridiculous as well. In that Bayern Munich team, for what he's done this season, I've watched a few games with him this season, actually, mainly the Champions League. And the way he receives the ball and the way he dribbles past players is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous at that age as well. Quite similar to Bellingham in terms of that confidence and drive for midfield. But I'd love to get both of them. Wouldn't you love to get both of them? I mean, we ain't going to get both of them. But that, Gene will... ownership that just would love to just put money into us now and say, look, bit of ambition, say that's it, we need this really refreshment, and they'd go and buy them both. That would be unreal.
Them two fix our midfield
every day of the week with Fabinho behind them.
Interesting shout right there. If you ask me, I think we should look for a more defensive profile, whether that's a younger midfielder or a more established midfielder, more of the likes of Tchouaméni. But the problem right now is which options other than Tchouaméni, who by the way left, are at the same level as Tchouaméni that we could actually go for. I mean, the only possible solutions that we got in have been under the radar names, such as the Borussia midfielder Kone, such as other younger profiles.
Van Gaal is a good player.
That one as well. What else? So, but I believe there's none of them are in the same level as Tchouaméni ability-wise at the moment. Obviously, maybe the ceiling could be up there. So, I fear that if we don't move him for a player of that caliber, we can probably end up with an understudy or with a potential player that eventually will get there.